Hello, Elisa here. She's decided to have a bit of apple juice with friends, talk about government instead of preparing for the Mrs. League, which is absolutely coming back 100%. Anyways, enjoy the first half of Cheese and his friends' ramblings about our current religions and governments. The second half should either come out later this week or next week as scheduled.
Religion is such a funny thing. No. Like, unironically, like, give it. No, Matt.
Religion is founded on culture.
Yes. Like, give it 3.5 years ago. I've already told Dave about this. I had a really close friend of mine that I don't really talk to nowadays just because we're both busy and such with college and whatever. But when we had to go to a field trip due to school requirements, we just had to go to a few-day field trip for conducting science experiments in like basically the woods. How the old people used to do it. And me and this guy, my entire cabin, I just told everybody, if anybody wants to have a deep talk, I'm here for the night. If anybody wants to talk about it, and he talked about how Islam was viewed from a very poor perspective for multiple reasons. It doesn't help that 9/11 is a thing, and unironically, that did hurt his prospects of ever making friends ever. And I was one of the very few people that was willing to continually talk to him throughout school. And sure, like, yes, I became very close friends with him, but more importantly, I was able to have a better understanding of what Islam was about. I've had my pastor spout several phrases from the Quran about stoning Christians who don't believe in Allah and all that such. But
that's also like the main kind of reason I just kind of said, this whole church thing isn't for me. Because there have been so many sermons where the pastor just said, gay people are just kind of going straight to hell.
And you know what I hate?
All Muslim people are kind of just gay people in of themselves.
And
they're
just
all going to hell anyway.
No. Hear me.
Just like, what kind of moral basis are you basing this off?
And not only that, they say that God is the only moral basis. And that's not true. There are multiple moral bases. Like, just look at Hinduism. It's not based off of the God that created Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. It's a different set of gods that somehow created the same moral wisdom.
Or even Buddhism, where there is no God.
Precisely, become good. Why do we become good? Because of religion, but it's not because of your specific religion.
It progresses the earth, and that's the life force that drives everything.
Culturally,
I went to was super liberal.
Oh,
fair enough.
Was actually accepting of gay people.
Oh,
no. That's the thing. My
church had a gay pastor.
Oh,
yeah.
No, that's the funny. No, Matt. Funny story. My pastor and his wife was like uber religious, a pastor's daughter. They both did not believe in gay people going into heaven. But every guest speaker that I've talked to during retreats and such, they've talked about, oh hey, if they are gay people, you should accept them. They still don't believe that they should get to heaven. Yeah, exactly. But at the very least, embrace them with open arms. Don't treat them like shit. At the very least, be able to. Yes, it is kind of crummy to try to convert them back to straight or whatever, but at the very least, they're willing to befriend them and such.
But here's also the thing, which I learned in my senior year theology class. basically, the church's whole doctrine on the other religious people is basically saying, if they don't know any better, they're just gonna go to purgatory basically.
Yeah.
If you preach to them and they accept, you know what? Then they
might
by our church's rules. If you preach to them and they reject, they just go straight to hell.
And the worst part is sometimes purgatory, they'll just be stuck there forever. They'll be in limbo between heaven and hell, then they won't ever know.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel bad. They won't feel pain, but they won't feel better. What is that supposed to feel like? How am I supposed to?
No. Purgatory is objectively supposed to be pseudo painful.
It's pseudo painful, but it's not hell painful. That's the thing. At the very least,
it's painful to the respect that they're trying to beat a moral sense into you, basically. From what I've been told.
I mean, that's how gay people live on a daily basis. Let's be real. Animals don't go to heaven. According to the Bible, they don't.
I mean, yeah, according to the Bible, and also according to the Bible, they don't have a moral conscience to base themselves off of what is right and wrong.
Which is fictionally wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, sorry, factually wrong. My bad. Like, yeah, sure, they don't have the knowledge.
It's more so they have to be taught.
No, it's not. It's not that they have to be
What's,
taught.
like,
Well, sir. Well,
It's based off of the human perspective.
yes, 100%. And sure, certain domesticated
Which
animals
is
that were
why,
learned.
Buddhism is all like, hey, yo, everybody's on the same perspective. Dogs can go reincarnate into snails, incarnate into humans.
And cats can reincarnate into neckos. That was a joke.
I don't know what the Buddhist perspective on alternate realities is, but you know what?
Hey, all I'm saying is they might believe in the alternate universe theory. If they believe in Jesus, being a Buddhist, then they'll believe in anything.
I don't know much outside of Siddhartha Gautama, but you know what?
I love the fact that Hindus and Buddhists just openly embrace Jesus as a guy who was just really good. And
So does so does Islam.
well, no, but here's the thing: Islam to a lesser extent.
Islam and both Islam and Judaism both accept Jesus Christ as like
a figure,
a good guy who spread the word of Yahweh or Allah.
Yeah, and then the best part, I think
like they spread his message, but he wasn't the God.
Yeah, and the thing I love best is that they both believe he was holy. But the difference is, in Judaism, they believe he wasn't the final figure. The difference is, in Christianity, he was the one that was prophesied. He was the chosen one.
Yeah, in Judaism, it's more like the final figure has yet to come. So let's just keep hoping for that.
And in Islam, he was like, yes, he was a figure.
In Islam, he was a figure, but he's not the final.
Like Muhammad was the final figure. That's who it was meant to be.
Muhammad was a prophet.
Well, sorry, he was a no. Well, according to the Islam, Jesus was also a prophet.
I guess in that sense, Muhammad is kind of Jesus.
He was the final. He was the true final prophet.
I would say more so if you want to correlate it to Christianity in a sense. Muhammad is more Moses or like Joseph than Jesus.
I still
like he was a super significant figure, but he wasn't like God.
Yeah. Well, I'd say Jesus was the Moses of Islam. Well, not the Moses, but like a Moses. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's what we can agree on at least.
I don't know that much about Islam.
Yeah, fair enough. Like it is.
How many hours have you had on EU4?
I haven't had that many.
How many embodied nations have you played?
All I'm saying is, I know for the most part, the 5 pillars of Mecca. That's all I need. Not Mecca. 5 pillars of Islam. That's all I need to know.
Well, I mean, like all I remember off the top of my head is Mecca, Medina, and you just take the pilgrimage from there and back once in your lifetime.
I've heard from friends who actually went there. I heard it's like, I don't want to say it's intense, but or overwhelming. But it is an experience.
Say, from the videos I've seen, it is a lot of people there because
COVID.
I mean, before COVID, it's just a lot.
It's just piles of people.
Yeah.
Like you
with
think
the whole like circling around the black box. And
like you would think that like whatever's left of Jesus' cross.
Yo, shit! The Enderman is taken to Q.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
No, like you would think that whatever's remained of Jesus' cross, yes, people bit off of it, and there are chunks that are being sold on eBay to this day.
Same thing with Jesus' foreskin. Fun story.
That is a very fun story. But my point is, like, you'd think that Jesus' cross, Christianity is the biggest religion in the world. You think people would be visited every day, and people do visit it, but it has nothing on the Mecca. It is insane how many people just flock to that place.
Because I mean, isn't it like a core doctrine? Like almost a certain like a core
every
doctrine?
Muslim must go there at least.
Yeah,
once.
no, it's like a core doctrine of a lot of sects of Muslims. They have to commit to the Hajj at least once in their
Sunni, Shia, go to the Hajj. I don't.
Yeah,
there's no
versus Christianity. It's more so just go to your local church every Sunday.
Precisely.
Or just like
not even
that. In some sense,
if you read some interpretations like by the letter of the Bible,
like some of the letters. Yeah,
Christianity is
it's the people.
Extremely nice religion.
Yeah. It's the people. It was never up to the building. It was never up to the pastors. It's just the people coming together.
And that is why people have said Jesus Christ is a socialist.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah. Wait, for real?
Post-Roman Empire, Christian communities have been described as proto-socialist.
I'm not surprised, considering that after the Romans kind of fell, his image probably faltered.
Thessalonica and
Wait,
Because-
wait, the same Thessalonica that
Yeah,
is in
the
the Bible?
Thessalonians. That's
No way! Keep going. I am interested now.
Like, St. Paul. There's the reason he had all those letters. It wasn't just
No,
It wasn't just like the 2 or 3 letters.
No, those
He
were
wrote
real.
a lot
Those
more.
were documented to be real. My question is, what happened after Rome fell? That's what I want to know.
You had the breakdown of centralization, right?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
And you had these like communal. Everything became more communal.
Yeah, and so
Oh,
And
shit.
it was
and from the
based off-
community in Thessalonica and all of them, I forget the other cities, but they basically said, "Hey, yo, this guy and all these people have been preaching about Jesus Christ. A lot of our people kind of like believe what he says. You know what? As a collective, let's just kind of go with it and see how it goes."
Yeah.
Wow.
And that lasted for a few hundred years until the whole, great schism between Catholicism and Orthodox.
The Martin Luther, because Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Funny
Well,
joke.
no, that's between Catholicism and Protestantism. I'm talking like
Orthodox.
Oh, you're talking
like
Orthodox.
900 AD
Well,
between
yeah.
Byzantines and like Catholics, basically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've also
The
seen an
Catholics say
extra
they
history
were- they
episode
were
of that.
first, but
Yeah.
that's not really true.
True.
You had all kinds of Arian and Nestorian churches.
Like I mean, and he had all those fucking quote unquote heresies, like
Wait,
the
I thought-
Hussites.
Yeah.
and
Wait,
the
I thought
fucking-
Aryans were from the
The-
like around
like the
Pakistan,
Hussites, the
Indian area.
Cathartics.
Arian, like ARI.
Yeah. I thought they were from like Pakistan, India, weren't they? Or am I thinking of a different group of people?
No, the Goths were Aryans.
I could be
Aren't the
missing.
Goths like like pseudo, like proto-Romanians though.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that is true.
Yeah.
I actually do remember that.
Or like proto, like Crimeans.
Were they
I read
Crimean?
something.
That would be
Like
interesting.
they lasted until like when the Ottomans like took over Crimea, basically.
I mean, the Ottomans, yeah, they did have a lot.
And that was like the 1500s, I think. So,
1500. Yeah.
so. But like, I just want to say that's what the Goths were, but I don't know much about them other than they converted to Orthodox at some point.
It feels weird that Russian became its own Orthodox. I mean, like it makes sense in context.
If you
but-
want a very fun read, look up the story of how the Russians broke away from Mongol Empire rule. That is a fun read on Wikipedia.
Okay. Wait, that's a Wikipedia article?
It is. It's a very specific battle, but it basically boiled down, like in all classic battles do, in my opinion, that basically the Mongols and the Russians just kind of looked at each other from the opposite sides of a river for years until I think the Mongols decided, hey, yo, we have enough men. Let's just push. And they've brutally lost.
Haha, you can never invade the
And
Russians.
yeah. So, and that's how Russia basically broke away from the Mongol Empire.
Wait, what was the river? I actually want to know.
It's not the Volga. I don't remember.
The
but
I'm pretty sure the Volga.
It was like some river, but major enough to Russia, but not major enough to whole.
Doesn't the
Europe.
Volga go north south?
Volga starts in the
Yeah.
Caspian and goes kind of through not Volgograd, but like
Yeah, so it does go north south.
it kind of like from your perspective, it starts here and it kind of snakes around, kind of like
Yeah, so it does go north south. That's right. Yeah.
yeah.
That must be one interesting river if it really stopped the Mongols. To be fair, the
The
Mongols.
Volga is the large. I mean, it's not the Volga, but the Volga, which also stretches north to south, is the largest river in Europe.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the Mongols were also stopped by 2 typhoons in Japan, so I don't really know how much to trust about them.
They did also take over the largest landmass in the entire world up until the British Empire.
I mean,
so-
yeah, I should probably shut my mouth shut, considering that Genghis Khan is probably somewhat my ancestor.
I mean, they had Genghis Khan, and then they had like, he died, and then a bunch of stuff broke off, and then they had Kublai Khan.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
a
I'm
while.
only saying that considering that I'm only
Yeah.
saying that considering that both China, Manchuria, yes, part of China, shut up, and also Korea were all part of the Mongol Empire
And-
at a certain point.
And the best part is they still don't know to this day where Genghis Khan is buried.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
Like
Genghis Khan.
historical records just kind of said, "Hey, he was buried in a hill."
I mean, Genghis Khan was a dope guy. Let's just be real. Like his backstory, amazing.
Yeah.
The fact that what was it? he was opposed to. I'm pretty sure he was part of royalty, got kicked out, and then came back after a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
And he united all the tribes, and then just
Yeah.
went from there.
He alleged to like survive assassination and everything.
Exactly.
And his tribe was described as like being so poor that they wore the skins of like field mice. And
Exactly.
they ate mice.
I remember doing here about a story about that.
But that comes from a document that's literally called the Secret History of the Mongols,
Yeah.
which is the only primary source.
Yeah, the further back in history you go, the less primary sources you get on.
I mean, like, also, especially from, like, that, I mean, if you want to dig deep into, like, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, and, like, deep water Siberia, you might find some more stuff there, but other than that, like, they're all pseudo-European centric, so they don't really care.
All I'm saying is that's just going to be preserved much better than anything going in the Middle East right now.
Hey, they still got the one ladder in Jerusalem.
Shut up. Shut up. I know what you're
That's been
talking
preserved
about.
for a few centuries.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Shut up.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? The 7 different sects of Christianity,
It's like
Islam,
it's
and
like Roman
Judaism.
Catholicism, Byzantine Catholicism, Coptic, and some other sect.
I think the Sunni, the Shia.
It's no. It's definitely not Islam.
Really? Is it really just Judaism and Christian?
Not even. It's strictly Christian, because you remember Jerusalem, they split it up between like Judaism.
Oh yeah,
Islam.
because they won't let the.
It is specifically in the Christian sector, because it involves what is it the?
Oh wait,
is it the cross of the resurrection or?
I don't know.
Wait, but there's also that one random.
It involves Jesus or something.
I love that it also involved that one random African sect that only involves. It only involves one country. It's
I think you're talking about the Coptics. That's Ethiopia.
Yeah, the Ethiopian sect.
That's what I was talking about.
I fucking love that they're a completely separate sect from all of the rest of Christianity.
Oldest, honestly.
One of the oldest.
Well, yeah, one of.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like directly after like Jesus Christ, and then one like I don't remember. Like I watched a really good video on it not a few days ago about it, and I don't remember for the life of me. Basically, one guy, just like a missionary, just kind of meandered through Egypt down into Egypt, just basically said, "Hey, yo, this is what I think. I don't know if this is right or not, but this is what I think." And everyone else just kind of said, "Hey, yo, kind of makes sense. Let's just roll with it."
I love that word spread really quickly about Jesus' death. Like the Romans tried to kill him. Oh, whoops! We actually made him more popular by accident.
I mean, isn't that almost the same with Twitter nowadays? You try to cancel someone, but they become more popular because they tried to cancel them.
Well, it depends on who the person they try to cancel is.
Okay, imagine somebody as well-known / influential as Jesus Christ of the Romans as they are today.
Justin Bieber. I'm just kidding.
Jordan Peterson.
Imagine if like Jordan Peterson, like
Elon Musk.
Or Elon Musk even, they tried doing something, and then the entirety of Twitter just tried to cancel him for whatever reason at that point. After his death, and he just became more, and he'll naturally become more popular.
Here's the difference though. Elon Musk, he would become bigger just because that would just be advertisement towards anything that he owns. For Jordan Peterson, he already has his detractors and people that go against him anyways. Like as much as I do agree with, as much as I disagree with his beliefs, I still respect the guy's ability to express his opinions and actually be able to convey them.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to try to shut down the guy, but other people will. So, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson's interesting.
Oh, no, 100%, yeah.
I mean, he's like the one guy I feel like you can like listen to and not be like overwhelmed versus like
he's the better Ben Shapiro, basically.
That's what I was literally gonna say versus Ben Shapiro, who's just like, oh, I'm gonna keep talking over and over and over. You make a valid point. I'm just gonna talk super fast. Versus Jordan Peterson, where he's like, okay, let me listen to you. I will acknowledge what you say. Here are my counter.
The thing I appreciate is that Ben Shapiro, all he does, he plays dirty. He just talks super fast. He talks about a bunch of he uses a lot of argumentative traps to try to catch people who are against him in certain argumentative traps that people sometimes they can get out of, but most of the time it makes him look bad. Jordan Peterson, instead, he uses the things that people are willing to agree with and use that as a basis to build his arguments. For example, I remember there's a very infamous interview, not infamous, but pretty well-known interview that a lot of people, in terms of arguments, know about, where he goes on I think a news channel and talks with this person who has very varying, differing views about feminism and such, and he uses the ideas that she agrees with to try to convey his ideas. And sure, maybe she didn't change opinions, but that's not the point of a conversation. It's not an argument; it's a conversation about what you're willing to agree with, and at the very least, if there's certain truth,
Jordan Peterson is the Neo-Aristotle confirmed.
like if I don't at least. If I don't agree with them, at the very least, I can have a 10-hour conversation with them and get something out of it.
Maybe not Aristotle, but willing to acknowledge other people's arguments.
I will acknowledge
he presents conservative, I
he's,
guess you could call it
conservative ideals with a neoliberal thought.
Somewhat. He at least puts neoliberal thought into consideration when he presents his arguments. Sure, he will still.
It's somewhat against neoliberal thought. It's more conservative than.
Oh no, yeah, he is very right on the spectrum. It's just at the very least he. I don't want to say he considers the leftist view, but he knows how to take what people are willing to he takes the common ground and he's able to build upon that, compared to anyone who tries to strike down what other people have by taking such leftist argument or something that they're disagreeing with and build it down instead of building something up from something that they have common ground with.
I think he argues in good faith.
Oh no,
he
yes.
doesn't just try to win. I don't think, at least, because even if you look because that's an important distinction to be made.
He doesn't go with the intention to win, but if he wins, he's fine with it. He's happy. And if he doesn't, then at the very least he had a good conversation with somebody.
Right.
And that's what all good conversations should be.
Yeah. You should. Yeah, it shouldn't be trying to win.
You should be trying to establish common ground.
You should be trying to reach the truth.
Right.
You should be wanting to hear what the other person says to further develop your own view.
It's kind of ironic that America claims to be so divided. There are other countries in Europe, or even Africa, or even Asia, that are much more divided than America could ever be. Americans never strive to figure out that, yes, we disagree on many, many different topics, but you'd be surprised to think that there are a lot of topics that we can find common ground, and that's where we can actually start making progress.
Poland banning abortion be like.
Americans have no idea how much people can disagree.
And they have no idea.
God, they have no idea.
And they have no idea how they're willing to agree either.
General political discourse is in a very narrow band.
Let's be real here. If World War III started, Americans.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen because of America. It's gonna happen because of Europe or Asia.
No, yes, but if World War III did happen, I'm just gonna predict this off the bat. I don't care if this ages poorly. Americans would be willing to just band together. They've done it before in the 40s, and they'll do it again. Well, World War I less so, just because that was more when they were isolationists. But World War II, that was a very politically divided time. How they came together is an absolute miracle.
The fight against fascism?
Well, yes.
It was more so because of Pearl Harbor, but
yes, that as well.
Yeah, it was a deliberate cultural attack against the United States.
Yeah.
The thing I'm worried about is the elites in control right now, because really the problem isn't the existence of elites.
They should die. I'm sorry. That was uncalled for.
You're valid.
That's valid.
If they're too old, get them out.
In my view, the problem isn't really the existence. It's the fact that they make horrible decisions.
Okay. It's not that they make horrible decisions. They make horrible decisions for future generations. Because, in the short term, yes, they may work out, but
you can just call it horrible decisions, though.
Yeah,
because-
for us, just from our perspective,
for the country,
that as well.
because, like, well, my worry is that it will get bad enough so that Americans band together towards something.
Right, I
Not
mean
very
that's
good.
like if you think about it, what are the like great presidents like known for basically? You know, Abraham like debate however much you want about it.
Mm.
Abraham Lincoln, fucking with
The
his like
greatest presidents.
Emancipation Proclamation and all of his
He was
like,
kinda forced to
reforms
do
and all
that.
He didn't actively try to like get rid of slavery and all that, but he at least set the foundation for it. And
Like,
stuff
let's
like FDR or not FDR, Theodore, fucking like with all his reforms for like natural conservation with the great parks and all that.
Yeah.
At least try to conserve conserve nature and all that for some amount of time.
Like all the
Or at the very least set the foundation for it, which is what a lot of people believe upon to this day.
Yeah.
That's what they're basically known
if you
for.
compare all the presidents all the best presidents generally, according to polls of all time, if you compare what they have in common, it's usually they care about unity, or at least they try to get unity as much as possible, and they try to preserve what was working.
Right.
But also a lot of the greatest presidents were criticized as being tyrants, basically.
Yeah, that's what I was saying with especially with Abraham Lincoln,
People
with all
don't-
I mean, granted, it was during a time of great war for America,
But he
so
Can I just
he
say?
suspended a lot of rights, and he did a lot of shady shit, which
Can I just
the
say?
Congress could have called him out for, but
He
they just never
suspended
did.
I hate to.
He literally did.
I hate to be that one guy. Richard Nixon, he does deserve to be in the top 10 worst presidents of all time. But at the very least, you have to acknowledge the shit that he got done. It's like super stupid
Nixon
efficient.
did do a lot, but a lot of the shit he did behind his back was just like,
That's the problem.
hey yo,
Like you have
calm down.
you have to balance the good with the bad.
Like
His diplomacy,
FDR.
like there's Coolidge, and then there's
like you even have to realize Woodrow Wilson. He was a shitty president.
I
yet-
I meant Wilson, not Coolidge.
Yeah. Like Woodrow
Yeah.
Wilson, he got us through World War One, sure, but at the same time, his ideals were absolute shit.
Yeah.
At the same time, you look at someone like,
Okay.
I mean, it was
can be
ideal.
debated.
It was idealistic, unrealistic.
Yeah.
And also, Nixon, he was a very shitty person behind the scenes. But you also have to realize the shit he got done. Vietnam, China, like those two alone, you have to realize the absolute miracles that he absolutely got done out of just those two alone. America is surprised. It's surprising that we got this far